Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as you can see by the title, is all about the second trimester, actually my second trimester, and all the symptoms that I experienced. Just want you to keep in mind that this is just specific to me and specific to what I went through. Things might be different from you, things might be similar, but I hope you stay tuned. Let me know if we had anything in common. But yes, I might look down at my phone just because I have some notes here. But like, can you see this smile like trying to come through? Let me tell you why. The second trimester is the golden hour, golden time, golden period. Like, play the church sounds, the little, oh. Yes, second trimester is when things start to settle down. Your body is adjusting. It's like the Osmosis Jones movie, like picture little germs in your body and little organs like, guys, false alarm, we figured it out, she's having a baby, relax. I mean, you're still gonna have pregnancy brain, you're gonna have that even after you have the baby, but you know, your emotions are kind of regulating a little bit. And if it's not happening yet, don't be alarmed, because for me, I was well into my second trimester when things started calming down. Okay, so let's talk about, first and foremost, morning sickness. If you watched my last pregnancy video, update video, I said my morning sickness lasted about 5 months. The entire first trimester, actually. It was still happening in my second trimester. So like in month 6, I was still vomiting. I still couldn't eat that much. But slowly but surely, it stopped. The nausea stopped. I couldn't believe it. Usually people say like if it goes past 4 months, sweetie, it's happening the whole pregnancy. But child, it stopped. I got my appetite back. The cravings went nuts. Like I was eating and I was so happy to be eating. So second trimester, it gets better, baby girl. Your morning sickness may calm down. For some it might not, but for most it may. And you can start eating whatever you want. Still keep it healthy though. I personally wasn't eating the best. I made sure to incorporate vegetables every single day. I made sure to take my prenatal vitamins. But the fact that I wasn't eating really the first 4 to 5 months, well, 6 months of my pregnancy, I wasn't really eating. The doctors were kind of pushing me to just eat whatever you crave, eat it, you know, because they need to eat more. And I was eating things like hot wings and then Captain Crunch cereal. Like my cravings were all over the place. I'm just happy because at this time I was eating, you know, and I'm speaking in the past tense because my baby's already born. So I'm just taking a trip back in time right now for you guys. Okay, so another thing that happened that I did not read about, because mind you, I have every app, every pregnancy app you could think of, and I read all the magazines. Something that I didn't read about were these little spots here. I still have some. My baby's like 7 months now and I still have it. I don't know if it's depending on my skin color or my race, whatever it is. I had so much acne here and it got really dark, really super dark. So it was just pimples everywhere. It was bad. I'm gonna say that. It was bad, but it was okay because everything else got better. But I did have a lot of acne here. Never had it before, so me having it was like, whoa. But it's alright. It got really dark. It started to fade away. I wanna say after the baby was born, that's when I noticed it getting lighter. I tried using more sensitive soaps here, then I tried only using water here, because I don't know. It's just something that happened. I didn't find out the cure or anything. Another thing, let's see. A lot of people, that's when they start to swell in their ankles. I didn't really have that. I stayed pretty small my entire pregnancy. Some people get like really sensitive gums. I think I did have that. I think my gums were sensitive, like brushing my teeth and stuff. I don't really remember, but I think so. What else? Okay, pelvic pain. It's ligament pain. The baby pressure starts pushing on your pelvis and you start waddling a little. I mentioned in my last video I had this pain in my first trimester. I believe it was a pubis disorder. I diagnosed myself with it as SPD maybe, don't quote me, but I had it really early. But normally you would get it like towards your end of the second trimester, beginning of the third, so you might be experiencing that now. Like it's a huge heavy weight on your pelvis and you waddling a little because this feels more comfortable than walking forward. That's pretty normal if it happens now. I tried this pelvic belt for pregnancy. It kind of made the pain worse than before, so I don't know, it didn't work for me, but you can consider it if your pain is really bad. The achiness also happens like in your lower abdomen, so it's just round ligament pain. You know, the baby's growing, getting bigger, faster, and your belly's stretching, and yeah, it's gonna be a little bit uncomfortable, but you're still good because everything else is going smoothly. Like I know I said you get a little I got a little acne here and I had a lot of pain, but it didn't compare to the first trimester where like mentally I was all over the place. I was throwing up, I wasn't eating, I was stressed. Now it was like I'm calm and I'm like, oh, okay. You start to feel like, oh, okay, this is just a pregnancy symptom. Like everything starts feeling cool. My baby is fussing. Let me go again. I got my son, he's sitting with me. Hopefully I don't have to pause again. I'm gonna make it this fast. Let's get back to it. A highlight about the second trimester is that you can plan your baby moon. A baby moon is like not a honeymoon when you're married. It's a baby moon, so you're celebrating your pregnancy, taking a vacation to relax and enjoy. It's usually more safe to fly during your second trimester. Check in with your doctor first to find out if it applies to you, like if it's safe for you, just because every pregnancy is different. For me, it wasn't safe for me to fly just because I was considered high risk. And I would have loved to take a vacation, but I couldn't, and it was okay because I knew that was best for my baby and what was best for me. So if you can't take a baby moon, that's totally fine. Do not feel bad. Everyone doesn't have to do it. And just know that you're being a great mother, doing what's best for your baby, and ultimately that's going to be what's best for you. And you're also a great mother if you do decide to take a baby moon, because you know, you're giving back to yourself, you're giving yourself a peace of mind, and you're embracing your motherhood journey. So either way, it's totally fine. Another good thing about the second trimester is that you get to have a gender reveal. I personally did not want to have a gender reveal. It was so last minute, and I was just like too nervous about the baby just because I knew I was high risk. And I was just like, I don't want to do a gender reveal. Like I don't want to have these huge memorable moments and then God forbid something goes wrong. Like I was really negative about it. And then my good friends, they all convinced me to have one. And then once it hit me, like, just do this, live in my faith and just speak it into existence. You know, this is your first pregnancy, your first baby. Be proud and share it with people who you love, who will make you more excited if you're feeling down. So I ultimately had the gender reveal, and it was so exciting and it was so beautiful, and I cried. And once you know the gender, it really hits you. Like, you know you're pregnant, you know, everything about you tells you you're pregnant, but when you know the gender, it hits you like I have a human boy inside of me or a girl inside of me. Like, this is real. So it's so beautiful to share that with family and friends, or you can be very intimate and just, you know, do it at the hospital, ultrasound checkup. But what I will say is you have to keep reiterating to the ultrasound techs that you do not want to know. So sometimes it might just say, oh, look, and that's his penis, or and that's her vagina. And you just have to remind them, I don't want to know the gender. Even if it's the same person, tell them again, I don't want to know the gender before they check on your baby. Now, if this is the time of the pandemic, they're probably going to advise you not to have a baby moon. And you might not get that many checkups at the ultrasound with an ultrasound tech, you might not get too many sonograms as much as you normally would. I had so many sonograms. That was a plus because I was high risk. So they wanted to, it was a point in time where I had a sonogram every single week. Yes, I had one about every single week from the second trimester to the end of my pregnancy. So I have so much pictures. But yeah, you get to know the gender, you get to have your vacation, if any, and the second trimester is just full of warm surprises. I'm just looking at my phone. And speaking about the gender reveal, you also want to start planning for your registry. It took me so long to do that. I think the baby was born when I did my registry. Like, I'm not sure, but I was just so nervous and I wasn't really into everything just because it's not what I envisioned. Then eventually I finished my registry. My family threw me a surprise drive-by baby shower. I also have a video of that. So you want to start just hyping yourself up about it. Once I started seeing the baby items, I went crazy. Like before I was like, I don't want to do this either. I don't want to shower. I don't want to reveal. I don't want nothing. Then I started like doing the little checklist. Target just organizes everything for you. Super easy. I just started getting super excited. Like it was another hit to my face. Like, girl, you having a baby. You're gonna have all these cool things in your house. Dive into it, and you know, your whole mood changes. You want to keep your mental positive and healthy. Do these things, okay? Even if you don't want to, do it. Or have a friend do it for you or your partner. Next, I did a lot of Kegels. So those are like the lower pelvic exercises. Google that. I don't know if I want to talk about it, but I did a lot of those exercises. Ask your doctor first. But just because it's helped with the pain a bit, and I think I was told to do it just because I had a lot of pelvic pain to the point where I couldn't walk. So keep doing those if the doctor approves. You might be okay to work out. Just make sure you're not high risk, like I said before, because then these rules totally change for you. So you might be okay to do like minimum workouts. Just check in with your doctor with everything I'm saying. I was told that I couldn't work out. That's why I'm saying like check, because they might say no. And then you have to schedule a few appointments. I had a glucose screening test. By this time, I was in the hospital on bed rest, so I did it in the hospital. People say the sugar drink tastes bad, but it tastes fine to me. It tastes like flat orange soda. I hate flat soda, but it was fine to drink because it was sweet. So not a big deal. If you're pretty nauseous and you have a lot of morning sickness, you might be disgusted, because I know when I had morning sickness, I didn't want anything sweet. But if you just chill, just chug the drink. They'll let you know your results. And the glucose screening test is to check for gestational diabetes. So even if you're not diabetic, it's possible that you can get diabetes during your pregnancy. So they like to check just so they're prepared for any, God forbid, complications when you have your baby. So these things might be a little scary, like these tests, but it's better to be prepared, you know? So nobody's frazzled and flustered trying to get everything together. You want to make sure everybody's ready and on point, and yourself, you're ready and on point for things that can happen when you have your baby. So I would say to do all of these tests. There's also a genetic test that you schedule just to check for any chromosome abnormalities. I did this test as well. I think I did it pretty early, and it just prepares you. It doesn't mean that, oh, you're just checking because you're gonna terminate or whatever, give up the baby. It doesn't mean anything negative like that. It just means you're trying to be prepared for the type of pregnancy and delivery you'll have. I think it's always better to be ready and know what's going on and what you're getting yourself into, because it ensures that your baby's in the best hands and in the best of care. Now's the time that you can also start planning for your baby shower in your second trimester. That's when you want to plan and pick out a theme. For my baby shower, it was a drive-by baby shower, so I didn't do the theme, but I did have an idea of doing a castle fairy tale baby shower, just because I felt like my son was the prince, and it was just, I had so many cool ideas for the baby shower. So plan themes, look up stuff on Pinterest, start booking people and finding a venue. Just do things that keep you busy and excited and pumped up for your baby. Yeah, like just keep the positivity going, because your baby's almost coming and he wants to be with his happy mama, or she wants to be with her happy mama. So just, it might seem lame or corny to you, but it feels good, okay? It feels good, and it's a perfect distraction. Another thing in the second trimester, the weight gain. I didn't gain too much weight, but for me, I didn't gain too much weight for like the typical person, but for me, it was much more recognizable. My face was huge, my cheeks, I had like a triple chin, my nose started to spread, and you could see in my face that I was pregnant. It was very obvious. My baby's right next to me. He wants to join in the conversation. Yes. Hi. He's laughing. Okay, so by this time, you knew I was pregnant. And also, like, I was out of breath with everything I did. Just talking, I would be like, so what I want to do, like, out of breath. It was so funny. Like, when I look back at my videos on YouTube and listen to my voice, too funny. Another thing with the weight gain, sleeping becomes even more uncomfortable than before. So what I did was I purchased a wedge pillow on Amazon. So it's a little half circle shaped pillow, and it's on an incline, so you squeeze it under your belly when you're sleeping on your side. At this point, you should only be sleeping on your side because it's best for the baby. But instead of feeling the weight of the baby when you sleep, you have that incline pillow right there. Saved my life. Saved my life. Okay, so yes, boo boo. I might look a little jumpy because I keep pausing, going to my son, coming back. Excuse us. Another thing you want to prepare for the second trimester is immunizations. I was always against getting vaccines, but I did get the flu shot because I knew I was high risk. I knew that there was a high chance I would have a premature baby, and their immune system is much lower than a full-term baby. So I did get booster vaccines. I got the flu shot. I knew that my chickenpox vaccine was low, so I got a booster of that, and I just wanted to make sure my body was good and everything was right after the baby was here. Like, I didn't want to give him anything, any type of illnesses or anything like that. So I did get some immunizations. It's up to you if you choose not to. I'm sure you'll take the best care of your baby, and I'm sure you'll make sure you do everything you have to protect them from any illnesses. So don't feel bad. Whatever you decide, it's just follow your gut. Your mommy instincts are going to be better than what anyone says. Another thing you want to schedule at the doctor's, and I'm going over these points because if you are having a baby during the pandemic, they might kind of cut your appointments short, like I mentioned before. He is tearing that teether up. But anyway, so I wanted to let you guys know some different appointments that you should schedule, because they might not tell you about it, not because they want to hurt you, but because there is a pandemic going on and it's safer for you to be out of the hospital. Because when you're pregnant, your immune system drops, so that means you can get sick super easily, and you don't want that to happen. So it's up to you if you want to do all these appointments. A lot of them are mandatory for me, so I'm just going to tell you about them in case you do want to take them. So another appointment you want to schedule is your level 2 ultrasound. I believe this one is mandatory. Not sure. When I say mandatory, I mean routine, because you obviously can say no to anything you want. Level 2 ultrasound is super cool ultrasound. It's a different type of sonogram where they check the entire baby's body and your cervix and your insides. So they're going to check his organs, and they're going to measure different parts of his body or her. They're going to check your uterus, the size of your uterus. They're going to check if the placenta is in position, or if anything's going wrong, or if everything's going right. And you might even get a 3D ultrasound done. You might have to pay for it. I would definitely not compromise on this. I would definitely make sure I get a level 2 ultrasound, because this is the sonogram that tells you if you're high risk or if you're right on track. This ultrasound saved me and my baby. they realized that my cervix was shortening. So the baby's right here, and then my cervix is right here holding the baby up. Mine was getting shorter, so that means the baby's gonna come out soon. So they realized that it was getting shorter. I had to research a lot of ways to prevent or prolong preterm labor. It changed everything, and I believe that's what saved my baby, because I started going into labor a few weeks later. So in my second trimester, I was already in preterm labor, and I wouldn't have postponed it as long as I did if I didn't get this ultrasound checkup, because I would have been walking around, I would have been going out to eat. Okay, he has his toys. You good? You might hear some rattles or things like that. But you want to just schedule your level 2 ultrasound checkup, make sure, and let them do their thing. It's best to be prepared. It will save your pregnancy, and if nothing's wrong, it'll reassure you that everything is fine. And it's good to know. It's good to be in the know. As scary as it is, once you become a mom, you have to face all of these things head on, because you need to do what is best for your baby. And you don't need anybody to tell you this. You'll feel it inside of you. Like, you'll feel it. I'm doing it. I need to know. I need to get this done. Excuse me, Baba. You okay? So, something else that you get to do is choosing your baby name. So I searched online for so many baby names. I really fell in love with Arabic names. So my son's name was going to be an Arabic name just because I love their names. And I appreciate their culture, and yeah, it turned out his name was an English name, and it just dawned on me one day, like, I had his name set. I had his first name, middle name, last name set, and then one day, like, God just told me his name is going to be Sire, and I was like, yeah, his name's going to be Sire. So you can look up names online, play around with that. And you might just get it might just hit you like what the name is. Like, you might get a specific sign that this is your baby's name, this is who your baby will be. So his name is Sire, and it means, it's a way to address royalty. So like, instead of saying your highness or something like that, my king, my prince, you would say my sire. And that's my baby's name. Get it right. Just to do a little recap on these appointments, you can do, I should say, the genetic screening test that tells you if your baby might have Down syndrome or any type of genetic abnormalities like that, just so you can be prepared, and have everything in place for your beautiful bundle of joy. You also want to do the level 2 ultrasound. This checks your baby's organs and anatomy, and it checks your cervix, your uterus, and everything like that to make sure everything is perfect. You also can schedule an appointment for your gender, your baby's gender, and if you don't want them to know, you want to let them know at every single ultrasound checkup. Let them know I do not want to know the gender, and they'll seal it in an envelope for you, so you can give it to whoever's going to reveal the gender for you. You also want to schedule your glucose screening test. This checks for gestational diabetes. It can be passed to your baby, so that's why, I really pushed to make sure I get all the tests. I actually almost didn't have the tests, but because I did a lot of research and I watched a lot of YouTube videos, I was like, hey, what about my glucose test? And this was only because I had so many complications with my pregnancy. Gestational diabetes is very important, but I had so many other things going on. But yeah, schedule these appointments if you can. If your gut tells you not to, then don't. Trust your mommy instincts, but if you can, I say do it, just to be prepared for your baby and have everything ready for their arrival. I hope you guys enjoyed this pregnancy update, and if you want to know more about my pregnancy journey, just drop a comment below and tell me what you'd like to see. I'm wishing you love and happiness and a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby boy or girl.